Have you ever wondered why, despite working hard for decades, you still find yourself struggling with money? The truth is, it's not because you're not smart enough or that you haven't worked hard. It's because there are financial habits silently draining your wallet, habits built on small, repeated decisions that stack up over the years. In this article, we'll break down 11 common money habits that are quietly making you poorer, and more importantly, how you can shift them to start building toward financial freedom, even if you're already over 40.
1. Spending more than you earn. After years of hard work, many people still find their finances stagnant. Their income increases, yet their savings accounts remain empty, and their debt keeps piling up. The root of the problem often lies in one dangerous but common habit: spending more than you earn. This is a widespread issue among the American middle class. As modern life grows more convenient and consumer culture constantly pushes you to upgrade everything from cars and homes to phones and vacations, it becomes alarmingly easy to outspend your income. Many people turn to credit cards to fill the gaps in their budgets, creating the illusion that they're in control. In reality, they're borrowing from their future to finance their present. Living beyond your means doesn't just lead to bad debt. It robs you of control over your money. When every month begins with paying off bills, it becomes nearly impossible to plan for bigger goals, like buying a home, investing, or preparing for retirement. Worse, long-term financial stress can lead to mental fatigue and health issues, something no one in middle age can afford to ignore. But when you learn to live below your means, something powerful begins to shift. Your budget starts to balance. You can build an emergency fund, reduce your dependence on debt, and free up money to invest in your future. Many financial experts agree that cutting unnecessary spending rather than chasing a higher income is the fastest and most effective way to lay the foundation for financial stability. One simple yet powerful strategy is to track your weekly expenses. When you start recording every single transaction, you'll be shocked to see how much you're spending on things that don't matter, like barely used streaming services, too many takeout meals, or impulse purchases driven by emotion. Financial freedom isn't about how much you earn. It's about how much you keep and how wisely you use it. By changing your spending habits and choosing to live within your means, you're laying the first brick of a life free from the burden of debt, fear, and financial anxiety that so many people face in their 40s and 50s. Don't let your lifestyle turn you into a servant of money. Starting today, spend less than you earn, and you'll see a dramatic transformation in your financial life. 2. Not having a clear budget. In middle age, when family responsibilities, health concerns, and retirement plans become urgent priorities, managing your personal finances isn't just a good idea, it's essential. Yet, one of the most common mistakes keeping Americans in their 40s and 50s stuck financially is this: they don't have a clear, defined budget. Living on a whim, spending based on emotions or outdated habits without tracking your money is a recipe for financial chaos. A surprising number of people don't actually know how much they spend each month on groceries, entertainment, bills, or unexpected expenses. Without a concrete spending plan, your money disappears quietly, and by the end of the month, you're left wondering, where did it all go? But once you build a clear budget, everything changes. You know exactly where your money is going and why. You're no longer caught off guard by surprise expenses, and you can avoid spending based on fleeting emotions. A well-designed budget allows you to allocate your income based on your priorities and helps you distinguish between needs and wants. The real benefit of budgeting isn't about penny pinching. It's about taking ownership of your financial decisions. Rather than cutting everything to the bone and making life miserable, you simply rearrange your priorities and eliminate hidden waste. Research shows that households with a clear budget can save thousands of dollars each year just by better managing their daily spending. Especially for the American middle class, where spending is often influenced by convenience and social pressure, a budget is more than just a control tool. It's your personal financial compass guiding you toward bigger goals like investing, paying off debt, or building a retirement nest egg. Budgeting doesn't have to be complicated. Just break your income down into basic categories: essentials, savings, flexible spending, investments. Then monitor and adjust as your real life evolves. Finances are the result of habits, not luck. And a solid budget is the first step in creating healthy, sustainable financial habits, absolutely critical as you enter the defining decades of your financial journey. Remember, when you control your money, you control your future. 3. Making only minimum payments on credit cards. Credit cards are powerful financial tools, but if used the wrong way, they become silent traps, pulling you deeper into debt. One of the most common and dangerous mistakes, especially for middle-aged Americans, is only making the minimum monthly payment. At first glance, paying just a few dozen or a few $100s a month might seem manageable, especially when you've got other bills to handle. But in reality, this approach lets interest charges quietly erode your finances day by day. With average credit card interest rates ranging from 18% to over 25% annually, making only the minimum payment doesn't solve your problem. It extends it and multiplies the final cost. According to several studies, Americans who only pay the minimum on a few $1,000s in credit card debt can take 10 to 20 years to fully repay it and end up paying more than double in interest compared to the original balance. That's why so many people feel like they're spinning their wheels financially, despite working hard for decades. But when you prioritize paying off your credit card debt aggressively, everything changes. You save thousands of dollars in interest each year and free yourself from invisible financial stress. That money you once used to chase debt can now be used to build real assets, like index funds, retirement accounts, or real estate. Paying off your full credit card balance isn't just smart, it's empowering. It's the first step to regaining control over your finances. You stop living in a borrow now, pay later mindset and start making spending decisions based on value, not urgency. You begin to live within your true financial capacity. For people in their 40s and 50s with retirement on the horizon, optimizing your spending and eliminating high-interest consumer debt is critical. Instead of letting money vanish into interest payments, you can channel it into creating long-term value for yourself, your family, and your future. Remember, a credit card is not income, and paying the minimum is not a financial strategy. Starting today, make a plan to pay off your debt completely, and you'll feel the mental and financial relief almost immediately. Financial freedom begins the moment interest stops controlling your life. 4. No emergency fund. A sudden accident, a broken-down car in the middle of the road, an unexpected medical bill, or worse, losing your job. These are the kinds of emergencies no one wants, yet they happen all the time, especially once you're past 35 or 40. And in moments like these, not having an emergency fund can create a financial crisis that's far more devastating than you think. According to multiple surveys in the U.S., more than half of adults don't have even $1,000 set aside for emergencies. That means they're forced to go into debt, swipe a credit card, or worse, dip into retirement savings. Each of those options has long-term consequences that can severely damage your financial health. Not having an emergency fund is like driving a car with no brakes. You might get away with it for a while, but the moment something goes wrong, your whole financial plan can crash. Without a cushion, you're vulnerable to falling into the consumer debt trap, one of the main reasons so many middle-class Americans struggle to build lasting wealth.
But when you proactively build an emergency fund, ideally enough to cover 3 to 6 months of essential living expenses, you gain a powerful sense of financial peace. You won't need to sell off investments, take on high-interest loans, or make desperate money moves just to stay afloat. An emergency fund doesn't just help you handle life's curveballs, it gives you freedom. You can take time off to care for a loved one, walk away from a toxic job, or wait for a better investment opportunity, all without going broke in the process. That's the difference between someone reacting out of financial panic and someone acting from a place of financial strength. And the older you get, the more essential that safety net becomes. Middle age brings greater health risks, family obligations, and job uncertainty. Your emergency fund becomes not just a buffer, it's a foundation for continued investing, saving, and moving confidently toward long-term financial independence. Cash may not yield high returns, but it provides peace of mind. And peace of mind is exactly what you need when you're making the most important financial decisions of your life. Don't wait for disaster to strike before you prepare. Start building your emergency fund today. It's one of the smartest, most protective steps you can take for your financial future and your family's. 5. Shopping based on emotion, not need. In the digital age, it takes just one click to buy almost anything, from clothes and kitchen gadgets to the latest tech. Platforms like Amazon, QVC, and countless shopping apps are designed to trigger emotional spending, making it easy to buy not because we need something, but because we want to feel better. For many people in their 40s and 50s, juggling career stress, parenting demands, health concerns, and retirement anxiety, emotional spending becomes a reflex. When you're overwhelmed, anxious, or just plain tired, retail therapy can feel like a reward. But that quick hit of satisfaction fades fast, while the financial impact lingers for years. Emotional purchases often lead to accumulating things you don't really need. A shirt that looks just like the 5 others in your closet, a gadget you use once, or a time-saving device that never gets unboxed. Over time, those small purchases silently add up, costing you thousands of dollars a year that could have been invested in your future. On the other hand, when you learn to pause and recognize emotional spending triggers, you gain control over your money and your future. This doesn't mean living a deprived life. It means spending consciously, understanding the difference between a want and a need, and making financial decisions that align with your long-term goals. Simple habits can make a big difference. Wait 24 hours before buying anything unplanned. Shop with a list and set monthly spending limits. These small, consistent actions can save you hundreds or even thousands each year without having to increase your income. By middle age, every financial decision has lasting consequences. Choosing to invest in your future instead of spending impulsively in the present is how you protect your wealth and gain more freedom in the years ahead. Money can't buy happiness, but how you use your money can shape the life you live. And it starts by learning to say no to the things you don't truly need. 6. Saving without investing. Save your money. It's the most common personal finance advice, and for good reason. But if your strategy ends with simply parking cash in a basic savings account, you might unknowingly be losing money every single day. In today's economy, inflation in the U.S. typically runs between 3% to 5% annually. Meanwhile, the average savings account yields less than 1%. That means your money is losing purchasing power over time, even if you're diligently setting money aside every month. It's like filling a leaky bucket. No matter how hard you try, it won't hold. This is a common reality for many middle-aged Americans. They've spent decades saving faithfully only to find out, too late, that they don't have enough to retire comfortably. The solution? Start investing. Even with a modest amount and a simple strategy, your money can grow through the power of compound interest. Whether it's index funds, blue-chip stocks, rental real estate, or government bonds, there are proven investment paths for people in midlife who want to build wealth for the long run. If you don't invest, you're relying entirely on Social Security and your retirement plan, systems that may not provide the level of financial security they once promised. But if you make use of the time you still have, investing can create passive income streams and give you more control over when and how you retire, care for your health, or support your loved ones. Investing doesn't have to be risky if you have a clear plan and a long-term mindset. And with today's user-friendly platforms and educational resources, you no longer need a finance degree to get started. The key is to begin, because in investing, time is your greatest asset. Remember, saving preserves your money. Investing multiplies it. If you want to escape the cycle of earn, save, spend, and move toward true financial freedom, investing isn't optional. It's essential.
7. Failing to learn or update financial knowledge. In a world that evolves by the day, financial wisdom from 10 or 20 years ago may no longer apply. Yet, many middle-aged Americans still hold on to the mindset of letting money take care of itself, meaning they ignore the need to update their financial knowledge, investment strategies, or spending habits. This is one of the silent habits that gradually erodes personal finances. Without continual learning, you're left reactive, not proactive. You might not understand how credit card interest works, how to optimize your 401k, or how to distinguish a safe investment from a scam. Meanwhile, the financial world doesn't wait. Those who fail to keep up often become easy targets, either for bad decisions or deceptive pitches. On the other hand, you don't need to be a Wall Street expert or hold a finance degree to protect your future. Just 15 to 30 minutes a day, reading books, listening to podcasts, watching finance videos on YouTube, or following reputable experts can help you build a solid foundation of knowledge to safeguard your wealth and boost your income. Once you understand basic financial concepts, from inflation and index funds to asset allocation strategies, you'll be more confident in making financial decisions. You'll avoid costly mistakes that many middle-aged individuals fall into, like putting all their money into one risky asset or wasting cash on unnecessary insurance. More importantly, financial literacy gives you back control. You won't have to rely entirely on advisors or be swayed by rumors or flashy ads. In an economy where social safety nets grow weaker, knowledge is your strongest shield against unnecessary risk. Remember, financial education isn't just about getting rich. It's about taking ownership of your life and living with more freedom. And you're never too old to learn something new. The moment you start, you're already ahead of who you were yesterday. You see, those seemingly minor habits, from overspending and skipping a budget to emotional shopping and delaying investments, can quietly drain your finances day after day. Over time, these small leaks can add up to tens of thousands of dollars lost each year without you even noticing. The good news, you don't need to change everything overnight. Just start by identifying 1 or 2 habits that resonate with you and focus on changing them today. Each small adjustment lays a solid foundation for a more stable and empowered financial future. If you want to keep learning how to manage your money smarter and invest more effectively, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We'll keep sharing practical, easy-to-follow videos made especially for those of you stepping into the most crucial stage of your financial journey.